The Shugborough Estate is a stately home and gardens located in Staffordshire, England. It is the historic seat of the Anson family. With a grand 17th century main hall, the site is a popular tourist destination and sees its fair share of guests every year. But not all of the visitors will be aware of the stranger tales linked to the estate. To begin with, the name itself comes from the Old Celtic meaning goblin or devil mound, although the reason it was named this has been lost to time. Shugborough also sits on the border of Cannock Chase, the forested region that has a number of myths and legends of its own, from black-eyed children to werewolves, pigmen, aliens and ghosts. For such a beautiful and quiet place, it does seem that the unknown is never far away. As is tradition, Shugborough has its tales of ghosts and hauntings. In this case, it's the former lady of the house, Lady Harriet, who can be heard gently knocking on doors and rustling her many silken dresses. However, not all mysteries are ethereal in nature. Indeed, the most perplexing of Shugborough's secrets are based around physical monuments and centre upon the Anson family. It was well known that Lord Anson was a collector of oddities, and his brother a famed adventurer and seafarer who navigated the world. His voyages bring him back any number of priceless and rare artefacts and tales to ignite the imagination. The most famous mystery of Shugborough is that of the Shepherd's Monument. This mysterious folly sits alone in the gardens of the estate. The main part of it is a relief of a copy of the painting called Et in Arcadia Ego, Latin for I am also in Arcadia, or I am even in Arcadia, referring to death. The monument features some changes from the original painting, the most interesting being a 10-letter cipher etched below the relief. Formed of 2 lines, the top being 8 letters, O, U, O, S, V, A, V, V. These are then framed on the second line by 2 letters, D and M. For centuries, the cryptic message has left researchers scratching their heads. To this day, no one has cracked the cipher, despite some of the world's best codebreakers giving it a try. This includes some of the people who cracked the Enigma code during World War II. But why is it so important? Well, one of the theories is that the code points the way to the Holy Grail. The story goes that on his adventures, Lord Anson came across the whereabouts, or at least close to the whereabouts of the legendary Grail. Upon returning to his home, he commissioned the Shepherd's Monument to be built with clues pointing the way to anyone who could decipher them. Of course, there are more mundane theories as well. It could just be a simple dedication to his lost love. It could be a dedication to lost friends, or just a message to his ancestors. Whatever the cause, the mystery has inspired sleuths for generations. The true meaning may never be known. Another mysterious monument sits close by. It is an often overlooked but personal favourite of mine. The Cat's Monument, over the Red Bridge near the Chinese house, in what used to be an overgrown and forgotten part of the gardens. Only with recent landscaping is the monument being discovered by new generations. The monument was built to commemorate a cat. While this may be obvious, which cat it is dedicated to is unknown. It could be Lord Anson's favoured Coolie Khan, or perhaps the Admiral's cat that accompanied him on his journeys around the world. Whatever the case, a monument of this size dedicated to a cat is rare and shows a strong connection between the owner and his feline friend. It could be this connection that draws the mysterious cat or its descendants back to this place. For there are stories of visitors to the garden meeting an exotic feline around the base of this monument, one that doesn't look like any native species, and a cat that disappears in the blink of an eye. Perhaps the monuments around Shugborough are just there to look pretty, follies built to be enjoyed by the 17th century upper class. But maybe, just maybe, the Anson family knew that the only messages that last forever are the ones that are etched in stone.